Hello and welcome to Survivor Pool AI, where we have created 3 artificial intelligence agents and we'll enter them into a survivor pool to compete with each other and to compete with the field. My name is Kip Skavinsky and I'm assisted in this by Eric Tedisco, who's helping me with some of the technical aspects of YouTube and social media. First of all, please like and subscribe to this channel. It'll help us continue these presentations or videos. In episode 1, we set up this model, or set up the agents. We gave the details of how we were setting up the agents, who we are, what we hope to accomplish, and why you should watch. Now, why you should watch is that if you are in a survivor pool, each week, each of our agents are going to make 3 selections, 1 each, and you can then get the benefit of these selections for your own pool. So please view episode 1 to get the details and the background of these videos. We also, if you're into artificial intelligence, you might be interested in what 2 average guys can create or have the models do in performing what I consider at least a pretty complicated or involved task. So let's get started. In episode 1, we presented the setup for ChatGPT, and in these 2 and in this episode, we're going to present the setup for Gemini and Grok. So if we get started with Gemini, we asked them the question. Gemini are twins, so I assume there's 2 of them. I said, I'm in an NFL football pool. The rules are that I can pick 1 team of 32 teams each week. And once I can't pick that team again. Can you help me to pick a team each week? Gemini replied, certainly, and came back with questions. When does the pool start? What are the specific scoring rules or objectives? Are there any tie-breaking rules? Do you have any preferences or strategies you want to employ? For example, always pick the biggest favorite. Or try to save strong teams for later to avoid, and you want to avoid certain teams. And then what's my risk tolerance? Of course, since Gemini will be competing in the pool, it's really what their risk tolerance is. But they said, are you willing to take a risk on an underdog for a potentially higher reward, or do you want safer picks? Gemini said that they had some initial power rankings for the season, and they were going to use to refer to them. Critical information that they wanted, the pool objective, elimination. You can't pick that team again, correct, agree, and win and lose, you are eliminated from the pool. The pool that we'll be in allows you to pick a team and have 1 loss. On the second loss, you're out of the pool. Again, a straight up win, no points. And Gemini want to know how many participants. There's approximately 100 participants in our pool. The risk tolerance, high risk or high reward player, or do we prefer a safer, more consistent picks? And again, this is up to Gemini. And then any personal biases that we would have. Do we have any favorite teams that you want to avoid picking regardless of the data? I do, but again, Gemini probably does not have a favorite team, so that wouldn't be a consideration. So the pool starts in week 1 of the NFL season. You only have to pick a winner. There are no point spreads involved. And I'm reading all this, by the way, from Gemini's reply to our inquiry or our setup. going to leave the strategy to me, but I came back and said, no, the strategy is up to you. And I said that you'll be competing with other AI models if you were up to it, Gemini, and there are, again, approximately 100 players in the pool, but some might submit multiple entries. So the core strategy, prioritize safest picks early, but don't waste top teams. Exploit weak opponents. Home field advantage is an issue. Avoid divisional matchups generally. Monitor injuries. Consider strength of schedule and long-term planning. That is, while picking week to week, keep an eye on remaining schedule for top teams. Top team has a few easy matchups clustered together. We might save them for a week when other strong teams have tough opponents. And watch the field implicity, even though she does not know what the other AI model's picks are. So initially, Gemini picked for her first selection, she decided to pick the New Orleans Saints against the Arizona Cardinals. But as we got into this a little further, she discovered or understood that her initial reasoning was that the Saints are at home against the Cardinals, a team that has finished an 8-9 season and is still developing. And the Saints have a relatively easier overall schedule, meaning using them in week 1 doesn't deplete our stock of elite teams for later in the season. However, they discovered there was a quarterback issue with the Saints, and they weren't sure who they were going to start. So she said that the safe pick for the Saints on week 1 was significantly decreased, and so she changed her pick for week 1 to the Jacksonville Jaguars over the as a winner over the Carolina Panthers. Moving on to Grok. Again, we asked them the same questions, and Grok pretty much came down with the same, we proposed the same question to them, could they help? And they came back with, again, similar questions to what the other two agents presented to us. Pool size, strategy preference, any constraints, do we want to account for upsets? Later in the season, upsets become more common, Grok indicated, because of injuries, etc. And so they're going to save some reliable teams for later in the pool. And then he, in this case, when we told them, again, pool size, 100 players, leave the strategy up to them, and that he would be competing with other AI models. So Grok said, I'm up for the challenge. Let's dive into picking a team for week 1. And she's going to outline he's going to outline his strategy. A little bit of a surprise, decided to pick the Philadelphia Eagles over the Cowboys. Reasoning. The Eagles are the defending champs. It's a celebratory home opener for Philadelphia, and they have a good offense, obviously stout defense, and said that this makes the Eagles a safe week 1 pick and preserving other elite teams. Why not a weaker team in the pool with 100 players? Grok said that early survivor is critical. So he is prioritizing high probability wins in week 1 to avoid an early strike, especially since many competitors might be picking favorites. So the Eagles offer a strong balance of reliability without burning a top team like the Chiefs, who face tougher matchup, Brazil against the Chargers. So as far as the future strategy is concerned, he's going to focus on mapping out the whole 18-week schedule and prioritizing teams with favorable matchups, accounting for bye weeks and balancing strong teams early and saving some teams for late season upsets. And we'll discuss that detail later. So in summary, that's it. This has gone a little longer than I anticipated, but each agent has made its selection, and those selections are available to you to consider in your pool. Going forward, I'm going to try to have all of the picks in each week by Wednesday, so you'll be able to consider this. And I'm also going to come on again next week and ask them if any of them have made any further changes in their selections. But to again ask you to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so, and we'll pick up again on a pretty short video next week prior to the kickoff of the NFL season. So thank you very much for watching this. Have a good day. Bye-bye.